I'm just now starting to find out that there's more than me, who is black, who rides horses. For the year and 8 months, everywhere I went, every show I went to, every person who followed me on Instagram was, Caucasian or, even as far as like Asian. But I never saw any other black people who were riding horses. And I was like, well, it must just be me, I'm just weird or something, because I don't see any other black people. So it was really hard sometimes trying to find someone to connect to, because I don't feel like I'm a typical equestrian.
That's right, not your typical equestrian. That is the voice of Brianna Brookins, a working student and avid equestrian here in North Carolina. Brianna talks with us today about her experience in the horse community and gives us some advice for aspiring equestrians. Stay tuned to hear more from Brianna. You are listening to Young Black Equestrians, the podcast, with your hosts, Brianna Johnson and Caitlin Gooch.
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Doing good.
Well, thank you for joining us on an episode of our podcast.
Absolutely.
We looking to just shed light on some of the local and not so local, black equestrians, black cowboys, black people in the horse community, just because I would say we're few and far between, but we really are not, because there's quite a few of us, but just shedding light on us, period.
Yeah, I love that. I really love that.
So we've been starting off every episode with talking about something that we are thankful for. So if you want to go first, Brianna, what is something that you are thankful for today?
Today, in particular, I'm definitely thankful for my wife and my daughter. They came out with me this morning to the barn and helped me with every single barn chore, which took way longer than it should have. And then sat there through a whole hour lesson. So I'm really thankful that I have a supportive family that, goes out with me and does things that they don't really feel the same way I do for, but they're always there.
Yep, there to support you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Caitlin?
Aww. Today is a special day. One of the girls that I used to go to church with, her and her husband, they have been having like a battle with infertility, and today they're having a gender reveal. So I'm so thankful for them, for that happening in their lives.
Yeah,
and they're doing it live on Facebook at 9 o'clock. So I'm really excited, and I've been thinking about that all day. Like, they never gave up; they just kept trying, and they're finally having a baby.
Aww.
Yes, that's amazing.
Yeah. Wow.
How about you, Brianna?
I don't know. I none of my stuff seems really interesting. I'm thankful for today. I'm thankful for my parents today. My mom has always been a sounding board for literally anything that's happening in my life. Like, I see that meme on Facebook, and it's like, you can't be my friend because I told my mama and she don't like you. That's literally my life. Like, oh, well, I already told my mama, so if she looked at you like that, it's because she knows. And then my dad is always there. He always has an answer for everything. He can fix anything. He is currently working on my mini mobile. And he's got the fuel pump for the minivan so that I can start driving my little mini around in the minivan. So
that's awesome.
I am super thankful for them today. And I guess let me shout out my little brother too. He's pretty much like my dad, and it's always very helpful. So let me not leave him out. But I am thankful for them today. So getting into our questions. So Brianna, briefly tell us about yourself, kind of where you're located, your current horse or the horse you're riding, and what discipline you ride?
Yeah, so, well, my name is Brianna. I'm 22 years old, and I live in Durham, North Carolina right now. And I am riding kind of two horses right now, mainly at the same time. His name is Classy, and the other's name is Bo. And Classy is a dressage horse, so I do dressage lessons about 3 times a week. And then Bo is a crazy jumper. So I was a show jumper for the first year and a half that I started, and then I am finally now starting to kind of branch off and try new disciplines. So dressage was my next go-to.
Nice. So,
yeah, it's been fun.
What barn do you ride at?
So I ride at Matrix Stables. That's where I do dressage. It's in Wake Forest.
Mm-hmm.
And then I take jumping lessons at Southern Oak Equestrian Center in Raleigh. And then a friend of mine has a therapeutic riding center in Raleigh as well, and that's where I ride Bo. So I work at 2 of them, about to work at all 3. I try to work off everything.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
I trade in anything I can, muck and stall, feeding, turnout, hay, whatever it is, to get for my time.
Awesome. That's cool. You're literally like in my neck of the woods.
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
I said, you're literally in my neck of the woods. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I work in North Raleigh, so it's right down the street from Wake Forest, and I'm from Chapel Hill.
Oh, that's crazy.
And
I did not know that.
Yeah. And so I was creeping on your Instagram just a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was like, double take? What? Seriously? Like Melissa? She ride with Melissa? I was like, it is such a small world.
Yeah, I rode with Melissa for a couple of months. Mm-hmm. I did.
Yeah, she boarded my horse briefly until he tried to like escape everything she had.
Oh my goodness!
So when she had the farm in Chapel Hill, so it was interesting. She's a cool chick.
Yeah, she's pretty chill.
Alrighty, so from my understanding, you got into horses just recently. Like, what made you make that decision to kind of start this journey?
Yeah, so I mean, growing up, will let my parents and my grandparents tell it, I've loved horses since I could say the word horse. Mm-hmm. Literally, no one understood why. No one else rides horses or has horses in my family. But since a little girl, I've just been completely obsessed. I think my 7th birthday party, my parents brought out ponies, and it was a My Little Pony party, and it was just the best day of my entire life. Mm-hmm. But, growing up, we didn't have the resources or the money for me to be in programs and do lessons at all. So I lived through Saddle Club. I watched Saddle Club all day long. And I was in the Saddle Club. And every now and again, I would go on a trail ride, or my parents would find a friend of a friend of a friend who had horses. And even if I couldn't ride, they would just take me out there every now and again and let me look at, some ponies and stuff. So that was pretty much my whole childhood, just dreaming of being able to learn to do what I could see on TV. Mm-hmm. And finally, I moved me and my wife got stationed in D.C., and I was just bored out of my mind. And I said, you know what? I am going to ride a horse. I'm going to go and I'm going to do a lesson. That's just it. Mm-hmm. And this was a year and about 8 months ago. So I, did some research on Google and stuff, and I found a barn with some good reviews. And it was the best decision I ever made, because it became my heart barn. I still talk to her to this day. I was at her wedding last month or 2 months ago, and she, took me from not knowing anything at all to now I, can jump around and canter around really confidently. So I thank her like every single day.
That's awesome. What branch of the military are you guys connected with?
My wife is in the Navy.
Okay.
So it's been difficult moving around a lot, but you get through it.
Mm-hmm. So where is she stationed currently?
So right now, she's actually on a skill bridge program on her way out of the military. So we're here not attached to a base because she gets out in November. So we're here kind of while she's interning at a new job position here to go into when she becomes a civilian.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's good to get out of the military.
Yeah, no, we're really happy.
Okay. Well, congratulations about that.
Thank you.
So, what are some of the challenges you have faced kind of as a minority in the horse industry?
Yeah, I've definitely dealt with, I call it low-key racism, because no one ever blatantly comes out and says, you know, I don't like you because you're black. But I've definitely, you know, been places where the only difference between me and what everyone else is doing is the color of my skin. And it just becomes to the point where it becomes kind of obvious. When you're like, oh, okay, you know, I get it. So it's being put in a lot of uncomfortable situations where where I've been treated badly or differently than a lot of other people that I've been around.
Mm-hmm.
And then also for me, I'm just now starting to find out that there's more than me, who is black, who rides horses.
Mm-hmm.
For a year and 8 months, everywhere I went, every show I went to, every person who followed me on Instagram was, you know, Caucasian or, you know, even as far as like Asian. But I never saw any other black people who were riding horses. And I was like, well, it must just be me, you know? I'm just weird or something, because I don't see any other black people. So it was really hard sometimes trying to find someone to connect to, because I don't feel like I'm a typical equestrian. You know, I listen to trap music, and
I was about to say, you're the Trap Equestrian, girl.
Yes. You know, I grew up listening, you know, we grew up different. So, you know, I can't really relate all the way on a deeper level to even people who I call my friends, who are my friends, but we don't always connect 100% because we were raised differently.
Right.
So it definitely comes with some struggles.
Right. Right. I agree. I feel like it's kind of hard, especially when you are, you know, you grow up around black people, like that's that's your normal. But then when you fall in love with something and no one like you is there, it's like, okay, do I try to merge these two, like be myself and then learn this new thing, or do I just kind of keep them separate until I'm comfortable with what I'm doing, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was having that same struggle recently, because I had my horse page and my personal page separate up until I feel like yesterday. Because I would post my horse stuff, and you know, my friends, you know, they don't ride horses. They don't know about, you know, I look weird to them. I'm sitting up here to what looks to them like I'm assaulting this horse. So they're, you know, looking at me like I'm crazy. So but I recently decided, like, you know, if I'm gonna try to shed light onto horses into the black community, I can't keep trying to like have it separate myself.
Yeah,
that's not the way to go. You know, I have to do both. I have to still be myself and not try to become someone who I'm not. But you know, I don't need it to be separate, because this is just who I am, all in one.
Yep. I feel you on that one completely. So let's talk about your Instagram for a little bit, or let's talk about your social media presence. Period. So when did you start kind of like, especially on your horse page, because I feel like you had like a crap ton of followers there. When did you start kind of promoting yourself on social media? I won't say like being an influencer, because I don't see you tied to brands yet.
Yeah.
But tell us kind of about your social media journey.
Yeah. So it started even before I started horses. Me and my wife actually are YouTubers, which we don't really do as much anymore, because we kind of just, it got a lot of things, you know, I feel like our message we were trying to send wasn't going through. People were like going around it and just worrying about the fact that we were like another gay couple, a cute gay couple. So it kind of was like, well, that's not what we were trying to get at.
Right.
So we kind of stopped.
Right.
But it started with that. So we had a YouTube channel, and then we created individual accounts. So of course people would come over and want to see us on a personal level away from one another. So that's how I started to accumulate followers. And then once I started to get into horses, I started to notice there was quite a few of my followers who were genuinely interested in what I was doing. And they had no idea what I was doing, but they really wanted me to sit there and explain it. And they asked a ton of questions, and it really got me, pumped and excited to be able to, like, spread that knowledge. So I started to try to do just that more, really. And then I grew more a little bit into the horse world. And then, I already had my social media presence from before. So now I'm in the process still now of trying to, like, build both.
Right.
So that I can, just be all around.
Yeah. All in one place, right?
Yes, that's my goal. My goal has always been to be kind of like a neutral party for both sides.
Yeah. Yeah. So how has kind of being in the horse industry changed your life or affected your life daily?
It definitely sometimes becomes, there's good and there's bad. For the negative side of it, it definitely sometimes becomes a bit much. When you work it off and you really put in the hours and you're at the barn all day, it's exhausting. As much as you love it, you have to have a passion for this sport because it's exhausting, especially when you're in a relationship and you have a family trying to do it because, you're at the barn all day. If a horse gets hurt, a horse gets loose, you got to stick around. You got to do things, it's unexpected and it has no end to the time. There's no set time. You're going to be done. You're done when you're done.
Yeah.
So, that takes a toll on relationships and family time because, you never know when you're going to be home. So it definitely sometimes becomes a struggle trying to be a mom and a wife and a horsewoman. But the positive definitely is it's just impacted my attitude and my outlook on life, getting to go out and turn on my music and get on the back of a horse when I've had problems and just ride it out. Even just going and just, even if I don't ride, just being in that peaceful place with just horses and that's it. You don't have to talk to anyone if you don't want to, because horse people do that all the time, will completely ignore you.
Yes.
It's amazing. It really is. And it's kind of the light of my days most of the time.
That's awesome. So what is your ultimate goal with this endeavor? Where would you see yourself, say, 5-10 years from now?
Yeah, I definitely have a set goal. Since I started this, my goal has been to work as many places and train under as many people as I can in the next 10 years because I want to open my own facility. But I simply don't know enough right now at all. I've only been in this a year and a half, and I know that it takes, you're never done learning with horses. So my goal right now is to just do as much as I possibly can and really engorge myself into the horse world so that I can open my own facility and try. My goal, it's a big dream, but is to connect it with the city, wherever I'm living at the time, so that kids who were like me, who wanted to ride horses but just couldn't, can come out to my facility and they can ride. And it's not a question about pricing or, worrying about big fancy horses or big show barns. It's just somewhere kids can come and build confidence and learn about horses.
Yeah, we know all about that, don't we, Caitlin?
Yeah,
we do. And I love how, like, the last few people we've interviewed, it's like we all have this common goal. We really want to give back, but it's really because we want to see us represented. We don't want to see those kids that are going to shows or doing rides or rodeos, whatever they're doing, and then they're the only black kids that's doing it.
Exactly. I hate the term the first black.
Yeah. Because it's 2019.
It's 2019.
Yeah.
Why are there still first black?
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
Yes.
I want to get away from that.
I know, in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
It's really crazy to me. But
Well,
I definitely want to get away from that.
Yeah, and I feel like that kind of even has a catch-22 because a lot of times we are not the first black. It's just that we're the first black that we know of because our history was kind of erased. You know, black jockeys, black horse trainers, like they weren't given the same opportunities. And we talked to a guy a few episodes ago. It hasn't been published yet, but he was saying how like black trainers, you know, would train the horses. It was all good at the barn, but when you went to the show, you didn't say that you had a black trainer because you might place lower than somebody else with a white trainer. So the white people rode the horses. The trainers pretty much act as the grooms. And, you know, that was their place just because, you know, segregation, Jim Crow, all that stuff. So it's like a lot of times we are not the first black, but we're the first black that you know of and the first black that was okay.
Kind of credit.
Yeah. So it irritates me also, and it just blows my mind, like you said, that we are still doing this, you know.
Yeah, I have people who, you know, write me all the time from my social media who don't know anything about horses, and they found me from YouTube or something, and they're like, oh, like, you know, you ride horses? Like, you know, like, what? Like, what is that? Like, that's, you know, black people don't do that. I hear that all the time. Black people don't do that. And I'll sit there and I'll say, you know, black people were like some of the first cowboys.
Yeah.
You know, like, black people do this. And do it well.
Yeah.
I would love to meet somebody who said that black people don't do that. Like, I've heard people say that somebody told them that, but I'm like, okay, well, let me show you.
Right, let me go get on my horse.
Right, like.
Right. Come to my father's farm.
Yeah.
And then they'll say, oh, you know, they hit the people with the horses do all the work. I'm like, well, you get up there then.
Right.
And do it.
Yeah.
That is like the worst one. Oh my goodness. I remember
it kills me.
Like Twitter exploded when people were talking about like why is equestrian these equestrian events in the Olympics, and they were like, you're just sitting there. And I'm just like, okay, let me see you do that.
Yeah. Get up there and do that. Why don't you go jump that 4-foot fence for me? And then we can talk right after that.
Yeah. Who worked hard then? Yes. So what advice would you have for kind of upcoming equestrians, people that have, you know, always wanted to ride but never had the funds or the opportunity or the support to do so? What advice would you give them?
I would definitely tell people that you need to work for it. For one, you work hard. If you can't pay for it, there's always a way. There's always a way to do something that you want to do. I haven't paid for a lesson since I started riding. I've worked it.
Dang.
I'll put in the hours so that I what I want. And you make, if it's something that you want to do, a lot of people, you know, they want, I'm trying to think of what I'm trying to say. They think about what everyone else wants them to do, and they put those things first, which is what I was doing for a really long time. But you know, there is a way to make time for everything that you love if you just really try at it, and you really try to make a way for something that you want to do, and you work hard at it, and you don't give up on your dreams, and it's definitely possible. And I know that sounds so cliche. People say it all the time, oh, just like follow your dreams and don't give up. And it's like, okay, well, like, you know, steps.
How?
You know?
Yeah, like, well, how? How I do that?
Pick up your phone, go on Google, type in equestrian centers near me, and you look at reviews, and you call those people, and you say, do you have working student positions? I don't know anything about horses, I'm telling you up front, but I'm a fast learner, I'm a good worker, or whatever it is that you are, and you go out there and you meet with them, and you ask them to teach you. A lot of times, most of the time, equestrians love to talk. And they love to tell you about how they do things different than everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And they will sit there and they'll teach you all day long if you let them. So the opportunities are there. You just have to find them.
Yep. Yep. That is the truth. That is the truth. So have you ever been to a trail ride?
Ever been where?
To a trail ride.
I have been on a couple of trail rides, actually.
Like the black trail rides?
So, just a little bit.
You said you have been to them?
No, to what? I'm sorry.
The black trail rides that we...
No, I haven't been to those. I thought you said a trail ride. I haven't been to the black ones. So,
it's so funny because me and Caitlin, growing up in this, we thought it was... Not that we thought it was normal, but, like... We're like, oh yeah, like literally everybody we know talks about this. So when we're interviewing people, especially local people, we're like, wow, you should come to a trail ride. And they're like, what's that? So Caitlin.
Yeah, I've never even heard of it. What is it?
Caitlin, let's show her, talk about some trail rides.
Yeah, so the East Coast Trail Ride Association has been around since before we were born. And basically from March to November, every single weekend in North Carolina, Virginia, and then there's some in Maryland, a different black saddle club hosts a trail ride. And so from Friday to Saturday, all of these black cowboys and cowgirls get together and we just basically camp out and trail ride for the whole weekend. But the bulk of the trail ride is on the Saturday. Fridays is usually like a fish fry. Saturday, people are still coming in that morning. Then we go out at like 11. We'll get back in around 3. And then people kind of cool off. We eat. There's always a raffle. And then we just party after that. And then people either leave that night or they leave on Sunday.
That sounds dope.
Yes. So we're going to have a meetup. I'm so glad we're doing this right now because Caitlin's family's trail ride is coming up. And we need we need to have a meetup because extra East Coast Trail Ride Association, it's not perfect, what entity is, but it's a family, and it's, for those people, they're coming from all walks of life, corporate, construction workers, like all these different people. They have horses, whether they board them somewhere, have them on their property, and we all literally just meet up in the woods and party from Friday to Sunday. And like my family, my dad and my mom, they have a camper, and they don't have horses, but they just go to hang out and talk to people. And we cook and we eat, and the tack, like my mom just brought me some tack from Shelby, and which is near Charlotte. It's like the largest trail ride on the East Coast. And I was like, thanks. Like, it was just some random things. But, they will raffle off saddles. They raffle off feed and muck forks.
They raffled off a horse trailer, and I was so mad I didn't buy any tickets.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
That's crazy. That's insane.
Yes.
Yeah, no, we gotta meet up.
Yeah, we gotta connect on Facebook and make an event or something, because not that it's anything like super grand, but for all these people that are just like, I have never seen, like, Kiara, or did I say her name right, Caitlin? Kiara? I can't remember. We had a conversation about this. Kiara, yeah.
You'll listen to this and be like, oh my goodness.
I know. I'm sorry, girl. But we were like, she said that she had never been on a horse beside a black person on a horse. I'm like, girl, what? I've been on a horse beside 300 black people on horses. Like, we literally...
I'm trying to think. Have I ever ridden with another black person?
Wow.
No, I have not.
Yeah.
Nope.
I know. We're gonna put some, at least y'all have helmets on to keep your chin up, because your mouth will be open.
Yeah, because now I'm thinking about it, and I guess I never even realized that. Like, no, I've ridden with, like, I feel like Asians is the only other race that I've
Yeah. Yeah. So
that's crazy.
we're gonna have a black girl meetup.
Yes.
In
Let's do it.
it's Otis's year, right?
It's the Otis place.
Okay. So that's gonna be a good time, and that's not too far from where I live and where Caitlin lives. Caitlin lives in Wendell, and
okay.
I'm in Zebulon, so we're right here to not too far from.
Far at all.
So we'll have to give you the details on that, and
yes, I would love that.
Get us a meetup, even if you don't. I mean, you can bring a horse if you want, but even if you don't ride, it's still a good time to hang out and see the culture.
Yes, no, that sounds like a lot of fun. Even if I can't find a horse to rent.
Mm-hmm. And maybe we might be able to find something for you to ride.
Yeah,
somebody.
Right now,
Shoot, growing up, because my cousin was in it first, and when he decided to ride, I couldn't ride because he was riding his horse, and so somebody always had like, hey, I brought an extra horse, and I was like, okay.
Yes. I love when people say that to me, and then they'll go, oh, he bucks a little. I'm like, oh, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Just how I like him.
Yeah. So that'll be pretty awesome. I'm super excited. Yeah. We gotta get this planned, Caitlin.
Yes, definitely. And I don't know if because they don't really have a lot of Western stuff at Dover, but I do work at the Dover in Raleigh. So if you guys I don't know what you guys would get out of there, but if you need something, I'm there.
Yeah. I don't know if she's worked there in a long time. How long have you worked there?
I literally started last week.
Oh, okay. Well, a friend of mine used to work there, and she boarded her horse at my barn, and I'm like, girl, this is the list of supplies that we need. You just tell me how much.
Have all the breeches.
So, anyway. All right. Caitlin, do you have any other questions?
What'd you say?
Just ask Caitlin if she had any other questions for you.
I was really trying to think of, like, what else? I know you said that you teach right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you teaching people that are your age or older? Or are they children? What's the age group that you teach?
So I do beginner lessons for kids. Pretty much since I was like started working like in childcare as nanny or being like a preschool teacher, gymnastics center and stuff like that. So I really connect well with the young ones. So I would teach beginner lessons, walk and then start the beginner trot, like 5 to maybe 10 years old for kids.
Oh.
Yeah.
Aww.
That's precious.
Yeah, my daughter is 4 and I give her lessons too, and she is crazy because all she wants to do is canter. And I keep having to tell her that she's not there yet.
No. Well, at least she's got big dreams.
Oh, yes. I'm trying to... It sounds bad, but I'm trying to slow him down a little bit because she just kicks and kicks, and one day she's really going to get that pony to canter, and it's going to be bad.
Oh, well, ponies always teach little kids lessons.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the ones we can count on.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, that's absolutely adorable. And she is absolutely adorable.
Thank you so much.
So do you have...
We got the whole family to the trail ride.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
everybody.
I probably will, honestly. My wife will probably love that. She goes trail riding with me sometimes. I've gotten her at least 4 times out, so.
Nice. Well, at least she's willing to go out on a horse with you.
Mm-hmm. Yes. She likes it sometimes. I think she pretends, but I'm going to say she likes it so I don't feel so guilty.
that's just part of being a horse person, man. Because, like, yeah. My mom, she is, like, not even about this life. But that's one of the good things about my mini is that he's less threatening than the big horse.
Yep.
But he's still like, what you doing? What you got? What's in your face? So she'll touch him at least. But
there you go.
she is not about the big horse life.
Yes, I understand.
But do you have any other gems that you would like to share with this Black equestrian community?
I'm trying to think. Oh, when you buy a helmet, guys, make sure your hair is curly, not flat iron.
Oh my God, yes.
Go and wash your hair and try to put your helmet on. It's not going to fit.
Yes.
I had to learn that the hard way.
That is such a small thing that you would not think about. And even like curly, like out, like not even braided. Because I've done that, like tried something on. I'm like, ooh, yeah. And then I try to like tie my hair in a bun. And it's like, I could have swore this fit when I tried it on.
Definitely. I went and got fitted for my helmet, and I had my hair flat iron in a ponytail, and it fit perfect. And I was like, I'm going to look so beautiful and awesome. And then I went home, and I washed my hair, and I still put it in a slick bun, but, it's curly now. So it's not the same.
It's
and
got
my helmet
volume.
was like, you thought you were going to put it on, but you're not. That is probably my best tip I can give you guys.
That is interesting. I wouldn't have even thought of that, but yeah, that is definitely something that we need to keep in mind as we buy helmets and stuff.
And your hair ain't always gonna be split down when you put that helmet on.
Exactly.
And that's
go back and resize it.
That's problems that other people would not have.
Exactly.
So,
it's not things that they have to think about. So, and we do. We definitely do.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, all right. Well, thank you so much, Brianna, for talking to us today. Thank you for listening to Young Black Equestrians, the podcast. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram for updates. Listen, rate, and review us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. See you next time.